Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my September 2019 TBR. Say it with me, everybody. It's TBR time! Yay! You guys know, favorite videos to film every single month. I absolutely love these. So, few things I want to mention before I get started with this video is that some things have changed. Not a lot, and it's nothing obviously that affects you guys. This is my TBR, but I just thought for full disclosure that I would share some of the things with you guys that have kind of been going on along, like in the behind the scenes of how I'm working my reading lately and things like that. I have been really paying attention to what I've been reading and how I've been reading and stuff like that over the last few months. And if you've noticed over the last few weeks, watching my weekly reviews and stuff, my reading has dropped. And that's not because I'm going through a, what do people call it? Like, they just don't want to read. I don't know. There's a term for it, and I'll put it here because it's completely drawing a blank with me right now, you guys. But I'm just not a reading slump. I am not having a reading slump at all. I am reading every single day, but I am not pushing myself to plow through books the way I used to, the way I was earlier this year. Like, it was not unheard of at all for me to have a 30-book month. But I think this month, in August, I'm going to be finishing somewhere around 21 or 22 books. Perfectly acceptable. More than acceptable. I mean, that is a fantastic amount of books. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I am unbelievably pleased with that. So I'm not knocking the amount at all. And I've been enjoying what I've been reading a lot more. Do you know what I mean? And, so like I said, I've been kind of looking at the way I do my TBRs, looking at the way, the challenges I've been doing, and deciding where I can cut some things out, because it started to get to a point where I was feeling very overwhelmed, and I was feeling like I couldn't do anything. And I mean, it's, again, not a bad problem to have, to do, I was constantly reading, and I was constantly trying to find ways to fit things into challenges and do this, that, and the other thing, and what have you. But, the more I'm looking at it, I'm going to play with this a little bit more, so this is not set in stone. My TBRs are never set in stone. They can change at any time. As I like to say, they are subject to change. But, I've just decided that I'm going to be changing things around a bit. It's not drastic changes at all. I still have 22 books here that I'm going to share with you guys. So I'm still on the higher end of most people. The other thing is that I was going to mention is that I have a lot of review books to read. And again, it's a great problem to have. I am super stoked. I think I have 9 or 10 for the month of September. So it is about half of my TBR is review books. So I fit those review books into my Triple RC challenge. And yeah, I am super, super excited about it. So I, again, wanted to leave that room to be able to do that, to be able to have a kind of, exciting amount of review books for you guys. But I did not want my channel to become nothing but review books, because I really like the fact that I read a lot of backlist, and I would miss my backlist. If I didn't get to read my backlist, there are, as many new books that are coming out every month, there are tens of thousands of other books that are still out there that are begging to be read. And I really want my channel to be a nice mix of new to backlist. So I am still obviously doing my Triple RC challenge, because that is my mainframe. That is what my TBR is built off of. I love doing the challenge every month. And yeah, so that one is still going to be continued to be done. I am also still participating, in Romance-opoly, because the year's almost over. There's only a few more challenges left, really. I only do about 3 of these a month. So, super happy about that, and I'm still enjoying participating in that. The other thing is that for my 40 Years of Harlequin project, I am going to be showing you all 4 books that I'm going to be reading in that given month. So yeah, so that's exciting. I'll be showing you those, and of course I'll be talking about my review books. So all the explanations done. Thank you for watching up until this point. Let's get into what I'm going to be reading in the month of September. So of course, as we normally start, we're going to start with the Romance Readers Reading Challenge for the month of September 2019. This is a challenge, of course, hosted by the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. I will leave a link to it in the description box below. You can do as many or as little of these challenges as you want. I always do all 10, but that's just me. Some people do 1, 3, 5, 8, whatever you want, whatever interests you. So I'm just going to go through and read the category and then let you know what book I picked. So the first one is S's for September. Read a book that starts with an S or a book whose author's first or last name starts with S. I'll be reading Snowfall on Cedar Trail by Annie Raines. This is book number 3 in the Sweetwater Springs series. This is a review book, so super excited about getting to this one. Again, I'll mention this right away before I get into everything else. I do not know what a lot of these books are about, so I will list them all in the description box below though, so if you want to find out more about them, please do. Category number 2 is Bird of the Month. They've been doing this for the whole year, where they pick different birds every month, and they give you some prompts, and you need to pick a book. So for September, it's Hawk. The hawk is often a messenger from angels, divas, and the divine. He signals a time in your life when you need to focus on what's ahead and prepare for a leadership role. Read a book featuring angels or gods, a book where the main characters exchange messages, or one where the main character has a leadership role of some kind. The book I'll be reading is The Deception by Kat Martin. This is book number 2 in the Maximum Security series. This is another review book from NetGalley, and this one, because they both work in some sort of a government agency, I'm assuming they have either A, they're passing messages somehow via text message, email, what have you. It must be in there somewhere. Or one of them is definitely in a leadership role. So this one definitely fits the category. Category number 3 is the Featured Author Challenge. So for September, the Queen of Romance is the wonderful Alyssa Cole, and the Princess of Romance is Nina Croft. I do have an Alyssa Cole book on my, a couple of them actually, on my my series I'm currently reading through, and I will be reading A Princess in Theory, of course, by Alyssa Cole. This is book number 1 in the Reluctant Royal series. I've read book 2, but I have not read book 1, so I'm going to jump back and read book number 1 so then I can continue on after this. This I will be listening to on audio. It is actually part of the Audible Escape package, and it is being narrated by Karen Chilton, and I can tell you guys, she does a bang-up job. She narrates, I'm pretty sure, all of Alyssa Cole's work, and she is super fantastic, and I adore her narration. Category number 4 is Skyscraper Day is on September the 3rd. Read a book with a tall building or skyline on the cover, or a book set in a big city. And I'll be reading A Perfect Obsession by Heather Graham. This is book number 2 in the New York Confidential series. This is another one that is part of my ongoing series that I'm reading. That's what I really tried to do. For stuff that wasn't review books, I really tried to look at everything that I had as part of an ongoing series and tried to pull books from that so I could work my way through some of these series. Of course, this is a New York Confidential series, so New York City, obviously it fits the category of a big city. Number 5, Be Late for Something Day. That's on September the 5th. Read a book that could make you late for something just because you couldn't put it down. This is another review copy, but I was given the previous book, I think, or 2 books previous to this one from NetGalley, either late last year or early this year, and I loved it. So I think this will be another one that I can't put down because it has also 2 of my very favorite things right in the title. Cowboy Christmas Homecoming by June Faver. Cowboys and Christmas. Yes, please. This is book number 4 in the Dark Horse Cowboys series. Super excited about this one. Category number 6, Defy Superstition Day and Friday the 13th, which is of course going to be on September the 13th. Read a paranormal romance or a sci-fi book, or read a book that has a scary character or is otherwise scary. I found this one on my list of books of series that I'm currently reading through, and this is A Deeper Grave by Debra Webb, book number 2 in the Shades of Death series. The first book in this series terrified me. And terrified me in a more brutally, graphically violent way than a psychological way. It's psychological as well, but it's also quite graphic. And this I am listening to on audio. I'm going to be borrowing it from Scribed. And it is being narrated by Shannon McManus, who did the first book as well, and she does a really great job. Category number 7, Working Parents Day is September the 16th. Read a book that features parents, either a main character is a parent or their parents are part of the story, or read a book that has a child or children in it. And the title of this one's a little goofy, but it sounds like fun. And it's The Detective's 8-Pound, 10-Ounce Surprise. And this is by Meg Maxwell. This is book number 2 in Hurley's Homestyle Kitchen series. And this is, of course, a parent-child relationship book. I read the first book in this series. It's about a small town, and the local diner and the people who work in and around that diner in this town. It's a fun series. I really, really like it, and I'm looking forward to getting to the next book. Number 8, World Gratitude Day is on September 21st. Read a book that you are thankful for in some way. Maybe you have been waiting for it, or it makes your heart happy. And this one was pretty easy to pick. And it is Autumn Alibi by Jennifer David Hesse. Book number 6 in a Wiccan Wheel mystery series. And this one, I am grateful and thankful for the author for not only writing this awesome series, but this is another review book from NetGalley, and I have been in talks with the author herself on Facebook because I belong to her Facebook group. And I was kind of mentioning to her that I had gotten one of the previous books from NetGalley and I really enjoyed it. And she's like, if you don't see a book in the next few days, or you don't see a reply in the next few days, please let me know. She goes, I will make sure that you get a review copy of this. So I am thankful to the author for extending this to me personally to read. So thank you again. Number 9, National Comic Book Day is on September 21st as well. And it's read a humorous or a funny book. And I looked through, again, all the series that I'm currently working through, and this one jumped out at me as being funny because I read the first one a few months ago and I really loved it. And the book I'm going to be reading is Grin and Beard It by Penny Reid. This is book number 2 in the Winston Brothers series. Excuse me. Narrated on audio by Chris Brinkley and CeeLo, I think it's CeeLo, Carmongo. This is a really fun series. I'm getting this one from Scribed again. And yeah, I'm very, very, very much looking forward to this one. They are really funny and quite adorable. And category number 10, Reader's Choice, read any book of your choosing. I looked at all the books I'm reading for review, and I just picked one at random because I have so many of them this month. And I'll be reading An Alaskan Christmas by Jennifer Snow. This is book number 1 in the Wild River series. Now, like I said, this is a review book, but 3 of the books that I have for review, this is one of them. I am actually, even though I have a review copy for ebook, I am actually going to go ahead and grab the audio for these because I do have a lot of print books or ebooks to get through this month, and there are only so many hours in a day, especially when you're working. So I decided to go ahead and grab 3 of them on audio. I have a bunch of credits that I have not used on Audible because I do have an Audible subscription, but because I get a lot of my books from either the Audible Escape, from my library, or from Scribed, I tend to not use my credits. So I had 4 credits that I hadn't used yet. So I used 3 of them to pre-order 3 of these books. So I thought, awesome. Anyway, this one is going to be narrated by Melissa Morin. So very, very excited about getting to this one. Now, on to Romance-opoly. I rolled my dice and I got my 3 squares for the month of September. Excited about all of them. I hit one and I kind of immediately went, I don't know if something like this happens again next year, if I will participate, just because of the whole paranormal books. I'm not a fan of paranormal, and I got a lot of paranormal books this year from this challenge, and I get that. There are a lot of people who love paranormal romance. I'm just not one of them. But the first category that I got was Creature Crescent, and it was you had to read a paranormal where the main character isn't human. So, again, not only am I not a fan of paranormal, I'm not a big fan of shifter type books either. But I remembered this one, and I started reading this one years and years ago. And I think I got about a quarter of the way through it. I was really enjoying it. And for whatever reason, I put it down. And I don't have the book anymore. So I'm actually borrowing this one physically from my library. And that is going to be How to Flirt with a Naked Werewolf by Molly Harper. I've read Molly Harper before. She does some great contemporary work. I remember this one being set in Alaska, and it's a werewolf shifter type story. And it is book number 1 in the Naked Werewolf series. And I thought, why not? This one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward for my hold to come in for this one. The next one that I got, yay, more up my alley, was Mayfair, a historical romance with a class discrepancy. So again, I looked back through my series books that I'm currently reading my way through, and there's a series I'm reading called the Covent Garden Cubs series, which is about kind of scoundrels or rogues, if you will. And this one definitely has a class discrepancy in it. It's about, he's a rogue, from the wrong side of the tracks, and she is part of the more elite class in Regency London. And the book is The Rogue You Know by Shannon Galen. I'll be listening to this one as part of the Audible Escape package. Super excited about this one. Cannot wait. will be narrated on audio by Beverly A. Crick, who does a great job with historical romance. And last but not, or not last but not least, but last of the Romance-opoly, Memory Lane, to read a historical fiction novel. And I was super excited. And right away I knew exactly which book I want to read, because this book has been on my shelf for over a year and I still haven't gotten to it yet. Even though I have a physical copy of it, I will still be listening to it on audio from my library. They had a copy. And this is going to be narrated by Joanna Parker. And the book is Hanging Mary by Susan Higginbotham, excuse me. And this is the untold story of Lincoln's assassination. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this one. Now, the reason I really decided to pick this one up, I think it's in November. I have her new book I have already from NetGalley to read. And I want to read one of her previous books, so I kind of know her writing style going into it. But yeah, this sounds so amazing. It's about, okay, a widow who runs a boarding house, Mary Stewart, hears all about the case from her son Johnny. If he's not delivering messages or escorting spies, he's inviting home men like John Wilkes Booth. The actor is even more charming in person than he is on stage. But when President Lincoln is killed, the question of what Mary knew becomes more important than anything else. Was she a cold-blooded accomplice? Just how far would she go to help her son? Based on the true case of Mary Stewart, Hanging Mary reveals the untold story of those on either side of the assassin's gun. Does that not sound fantastic? I cannot wait. This is going to be so, so good. I am going to try my best to follow along with the print book. But yeah, I am very much looking forward to reading this one, and I cannot wait. So that was Romance-opoly. 40 Years of Harlequin Project, you guys. Let's jump into the next 4 books that I will be reading, because I know some of you have been trying to kind of keep up and reading the same books as me. So these are all available as ebook. I did check. Some of them might only be available as like part of a bundle, but they are all available on ebook, and I know that they're all available from the Toronto Public Library on ebook. So if you're curious to check that out, do that. Or check Overdrive is what I'm saying, not the Toronto Public Library if you're not in the city of Toronto. But, so we will start off. I just want to make sure I'm going the right way here. Okay, so we'll be starting with 2013. Oops, sorry for shaking the camera. And the first one is going to be Marrying Dr. Maverick by Karen Rose Smith. This is book number 4 in the Montana Mavericks Rust Creek Cowboy series. So that one will be really good. Looking forward to a special edition. The next we have a Harlequin Presents, you guys. Have not had one of these yet. And this is Rebel's Bargain by Annie West, book 7 in the Chatsfield series. Again, it's totally okay with reading these out of order. I will get to the other ones at some point eventually, but yeah, looking forward to that one. And this is from November of 2014. And then we have Deception Lake by Paula Graves, a Harlequin intrigue novel. Look at that cover, you guys. This is from March of 2015, and this is book number 4 in the Gates series. And this is actually a large print edition. Super easy to read. But yeah, looking forward to that one as well. And last but not least, The Runaway Governess by Liz Tyner. Book number 3 in the Governess Tales series. I think this might be a Christmas one based on, or it came out in November of 2016. So I don't know if it actually takes place at Christmas or whether all the books that month have the wreath on it. But yeah, but you can definitely see it's snowy. So I am looking very much forward to reading that one. And last thing I want to share with you guys are the rest of my review books. Now, I've already mentioned some of them as I've gone through everything else, but these are the other 5 that I have to read this month. So the first one is The Lady and the Highwayman by Sarah M. Eden. This is another one that I got using my overstock of credits on Audible, and this one comes out at the beginning of the month. I think the first one that I mentioned, an Alaskan, was it no. Oh shoot, which one was it? I can't remember. The last one I mentioned that I used my credits for is coming out at the end of the month. This one comes out at the beginning of the month, and it's going to be narrated by Justine Irie. She, again, also does some really, really great narration. And this is a historical fiction novel. That's about, I don't think it's a romance per se, but it's definitely a historical fiction novel. Very much looking forward to it. The next one is Christmas from the Heart by Sheila Roberts. This one, oh, I'm sorry. the one that I mentioned before, my apologies, bear with me. Okay, An Alaskan Christmas, I will not be listening to on audio. I did not grab that one on audio. I will be reading that one on an ebook. Sorry about that, you guys. So yeah, Christmas from the Heart by Sheila Roberts, I will be reading on audio. This is going to be narrated by Terry Schubert. This one comes out at the end of the month. It comes out on the 24th, so I'm just going to squeak this one in at the very end of the month to listen to it on audio. But yeah, it sounds really good. It's a Christmas story. You guys know I love Christmas stories. The next one, this is actually a Christmas story as well, and you can tell by the Santa hat that the seagull is wearing. And this is Tide and Punishment by Bree Baker, book 3 in a seaside cafe mystery series. So this is a cozy mystery. I read book 2, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to book 3 and finding out how they put that Santa hat on that seagull, because inquiring minds want to know. The next one is another cozy mystery series. This is the first in a new series, and this is Last Pen Standing, which I kind of love the title of. I love the puns that come from cozy mystery writers. I think that's like half the fun is like figuring out the title and then writing the story based on it. That's my opinion anyway. By Vivian Conroy, book 1 in the stationery shop mystery. So this is all about a stationery shop, so it sounds adorable. And last but not least, my last review book, and my third one that I grabbed using Audible credits. And this is Met Her Match by Jude Devereaux, book 2 in the Summer Hill series. And this is going to be narrated by Susan Bennett. This one comes out midway through the month, I think about the 17th of September. So, yeah, again, you know, I know the whole kind of point with the, review books is to kind of read them ahead of the game. But unfortunately, I figure as long as I can read them in the month that they're published and get a review out, the publishers are still super okay with that. You know what I mean? As long as the reviews are kind of out there, you know, eventually I'd like to get to a point where I can be reading ahead of the game. But right now, because I have so many of them and I kind of got a lot of them all at once, this is the way I'm going to have to work it. Now, December looks like it's going to be a relatively quiet month. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty quiet month in the publishing industry anyway, with the holidays and what have you. So I might be able to jump ahead of the game for January. So we shall see how that goes. But anyway, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. The review books, or any of them sound super interesting to you, and are you looking forward to hearing my thoughts on them? And what are you reading in the month of September? That I would love to know as well. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.